It's Tuesday, July 29th. In the headlines, be proud, be bold in black, green, and gold. That's the theme for this year's Independence celebration in Jamaica. The Meteorological Service warns of increased rainfall expected as of today, July 29. In business news, the Small Business Association of Jamaica pays tribute to the late Don Webby. Regionally, the Caribbean Public Health Agency leads regional push for health security. And in sports, Australia completes 5-0 clean sweep against West Indies in their T20 International Series. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica is celebrating 63 years of independence this year under the theme, Be Proud, Be Bold in Black, Green, and Gold. Speaking at the National Emancipation and Independence Thanksgiving Church service on Sunday, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, said the cultural celebration will begin on July 31.
Civil Heritage Park in St. Anne comes alive for the Emancipation Jubilee, a celebration where 4 cultures meet: Taino, African, Spanish, and English influences come together in music, ministry, and memory.
She says the Independence Village will also be established at the National Stadium complex,
showcasing the best of Jamaican creativity, local food, or as they would say, cuisine or gastronomy, art, concerts, performances, and cultural expressions. On August 2, the Festival Queen Competition. August 3, Gospel Star Finals and Jamaica Praise. August 4, Mellow-Go-Round. August 5, Vintage in the Village. So all of those who like the old-time music, make sure you're there.
Jamaica's Independence Day is celebrated annually on August 6th, marking the date in 1962 when the island gained its independence from Britain. Minister Grange says the Grand Gala will be held at the National Stadium with the usual flamboyance on August 6th, as usual, but there's a twist.
A dazzling showcase of Jamaican pride. But I want to indicate here that there are only so many seats in the National Stadium. And everybody wants to come to the National Stadium. But this year, we will expand the celebrations to have mini galas in all the parish capitals. So you don't have to journey from the country to come to Kingston, but you will be able to celebrate Jamaica 63 in your parish.
Denise Cheeto, a 41-year-old mother of 4, is now the proud recipient of a fully furnished 1-bedroom indigent housing unit officially handed over by Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, on the weekend. The newly built unit complements an earlier 1-bedroom home Cheetah received under the government's new social housing program. Both initiatives form part of the state's broader efforts to uplift vulnerable citizens and improve their living conditions. In his remarks at the handover, Minister McKenzie emphasized the government's commitment to transparency and fairness in providing social housing.
And when we came to the handing over, we realized that this is a mother of 4. One bedroom. Because the information that was provided did not go to the extent of what was required. And right at this location, the Prime Minister gave me direct instructions that the Ministry of Local Government, through our indigent housing program, should now come in and take up where the social housing aspect left off.
Ms. Cheeto, who suffers from a disability that affects the use of both hands, has faced ongoing hardship as she raises her 3 daughters and 1 son. Unable to work, she turned to the St. Thomas Poor Relief Department for support and had previously been living in substandard conditions.
I want to say thank you to each and everyone who had made this possible for us today. We do appreciate you all and we love you all. I want to say thank you again to the Poor Relief Department who came and decorate our home. I feel so alive. Thank you very much.
The Indigent Housing Initiative is one of several government programs aimed at addressing poverty and supporting citizens who are most in need. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie, along with Councillor for the Yallas Division, John Lee, and other stakeholders, toured the Yallas Market in St. Thomas on the weekend to assess the progress of renovation works that started last year.
I've seen significant improvements. I want to commend the Municipal Corporation, especially to commend the Councillor John Lee.
The Meteorological Service of Jamaica is advising the public to prepare for increased rainfall and thunderstorm activity across the island today and tomorrow due to a combination of weather systems currently affecting the region. According to the Met Service, a trough is now across Jamaica and is expected to linger until early Wednesday. In addition, 2 tropical waves, one over the Central Caribbean and another over the Eastern Caribbean, are forecast to impact the island over the next 2 days. The tropical wave currently over the Central Caribbean is expected to move across Jamaica this evening, while the second wave, located in the Eastern Caribbean, is expected to affect the island on Tuesday evening. Residents, especially those in low-lying and flood-prone areas, are advised to remain alert and take necessary precautions, as the unsettled weather could result in localized flooding and dangerous lightning activity. The Met Service says it will continue to monitor the systems and provide updates as necessary. In this week's Living Healthy report, we continue the conversation about mental health in the workplace with psychiatrist at Jamaica's public psychiatric healthcare facility, Bellevue Hospital, Dr. Brian Kazara. What steps can employees take to ensure their mental health stays on a positive waveline before it affects their work?
Let's start from the beginning. When you're taking on a new job, signing a new contract, it's very important that from the get-go, it's established what are the parameters of the job, what are my working hours, right? And after which time is it now a case where I shouldn't be contacted, for instance. I know it's not always so easy and black and white, especially in the kind of work environment we exist in now, where sometimes jobs aren't as easy to come by, right? But if you can establish from very early what I would call healthy work-life, work-life boundaries, then that can be very useful. And sometimes it's just a case where, because maybe you didn't ask or you didn't clarify, the employer or the managers kind of take it for granted, you know? So if you can establish those boundaries from a very early stage, that can set you up to be less likely to experience burnout, for instance. That's one. Secondly, I always will encourage people to remember you can take leave judiciously and you can take leave strategically. There's some periods in the year that can be particularly stressful, especially if you're a parent, for instance, or if for whatever reason there might be some kind of significant life experience that's going to happen at a period of the year. So thinking very carefully and intentionally about your leave is a wise thing to do, and is what I'd recommend Fortunately for a lot of us, we don't have to work on the weekend, right? And for those who don't have to work on the weekend, I want them to be very intentional about what they do on the weekend. The weekend is your time to rest. It's your time to relax. We know in reality, especially for people who have families that they're taking care of, that there's still a lot of responsibilities during the weekend. But one of the things we talk a lot about in the mental health space is positive event planning. And what that means is, yeah, right, it's a very interesting concept and very straightforward, but very useful. What it means is that when you think about any professional, a lot of times we're very intentional about planning, for work. So we know, okay, 8:30 we have a meeting on Monday, and we'll plan this and we'll plan that. But when it comes to positive events in our life, we don't necessarily always plan with that same level of intentionality and detail. And that's one of the things that we try and encourage people to do. And also to look at it as protected time. Because a lot of times people say, you know what, Saturday, at 7 on Saturday, I go and watch television, I go to the movies. But then all of a sudden something comes up, your spouse may have something they want to do instead. Something may turn up and you don't get to do that positive thing that you wanted to do. One of the things we encourage is to communicate from early that, okay, this is my protected time. So whatever you want me to do, it has to be before 7, because when 7 comes, this is my time, right? And it's not selfish. A lot of times persons feel like, oh, they don't want to impose something like that because it might be selfish. But if you're already giving off your time for most of the week, it's reasonable to set aside 1 or 2 hours for yourself. So I really want people to capitalize on the weekend, because a lot of people, unfortunately, are stressed in the weekday from their work and then go into the weekend and just pile a ton of things without a ton of tasks, a ton of responsibilities, without putting aside time to say, all right, no, I'm just going to rest. No, I'm going to relax.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. The Small Business Association of Jamaica, SBAJ, joins the people of Jamaica, the private sector and the regional business community in mourning the passing of Don Webby, OJCD, a transformative business leader, dedicated public servant, and tireless advocate for Jamaican enterprise. He passed away peacefully on Saturday, July 26, 2025, surrounded by his loving family. Don Webby's distinguished career spanned more than 4 decades. He was a cornerstone of Grace Kennedy Limited, serving as CEO and later as strategic advisor. The focus on the micro stock market will help grow the economy based on the history of economic contribution of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The market capitalization of companies listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange's main index stood at $1.68 trillion, or about 48% of gross domestic product, as at the end of June. Meanwhile, the market value of companies on the junior market accounted for just 4% of gross domestic product. But this could change next year. JSE Business Development Manager Andre Gooden tells RJR News that 20 companies are ready to list on the micro stock exchange when it officially reopens next year, and another 200 are in various stages of preparation. For the period ending July 28, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Beverage distributor Jamaican Teas Limited with 5,320,887 units traded, representing 22.91% of market sales volume. Caribbean financial conglomerate JMMB Group Limited, 9.5% with 5,010,510 units traded, representing 21.57% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 1,751,975 units traded, representing 7.54% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On July 28, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $42.04 million purchased and US $47.77 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.07 per dollar, selling the US at $161.16 and buying the US at $159.09. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $1.36 per transaction, with selling at $118.08 and buying at $116.72. The British pound yielded Forex traders $4.12 in profit, with selling at $215.60 and buying at $211.48. For our credit report tip of the day, let's stop pretending that credit setbacks only happen because of bad choices. Sometimes life hits hard. Mental health challenges, burnout, emotional exhaustion, or caregiving stress can throw even the most organized person off course. But today is not about what went wrong. Today is about what you're ready to claim. You can take action now to repair the financial damage and rebuild your credit step by step with clarity, courage, and the right support around you. Here are some ideas. Identify late payments in the last 24 months. Write down your current credit score without judgment. Create a folder, whether digital or physical, to organize credit documents. And then journal your financial goals and why credit matters to your healing. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step towards your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, strengthening the region's ability to respond to health threats is at the heart of a high-level workshop underway in Georgetown, Guyana. The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, in collaboration with regional health authorities and supported by the Pandemic Fund, is hosting the Regional Health Security and Coordinating Mechanism Workshop.
Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFRA, Dr. Lisa Indar says, with the transboundary spread of infectious diseases leading to outbreaks, epidemics, and pandemics, it is imperative to build a resilient health system. This is what the Regional Health Security and Regional Coordinating Mechanism for Health Security Workshop in Georgetown, Guyana is hoping to do. The workshop aims to update member states on Caribbean-tailored measures for the advancement of the regional health security.
The purpose of the Regional Coordinating Mechanism for Health Security, of which CALFA serves as the chair, is to oversee the coordinated planning and implementation of regional response to public health threats and emergencies, and to provide a forum to participants to provide updates, share strategies, generate discussion, and support region-wide approaches to address public health priorities.
Guyana's Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, says the reality of health security in the 21st century demands more than just vigilance. A clear vision is needed. He also notes that some of the most significant threats to global health security do not come from viruses or weapons, but from within the health system.
So what do we do now? First, we must adopt the One Health approach, recognizing human health, animal health, and agriculture and environment are closely linked. Second, we must strengthen preparedness through the full disaster management cycle, from planning and mitigation to rapid response, recovery, and long-term resilience.
The workshop is being funded by the Pandemic Fund. According to Executive Head of the Pandemic Fund, Dr. Priya Basu, the demand for Pandemic Fund support has been extraordinary. She says her organization remains committed to ensuring the Caribbean is financially prepared for health emergencies.
The Pandemic Fund has allocated $68 million so far, or about 8% of total grants awarded to date to the Caribbean region. This includes support for a regional project led by CARFA, which was the first of the Pandemic Fund projects to be launched, a multi-country project covering 6 Eastern Caribbean small island developing states, and 3 single-country projects in Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname.
The 2-day workshop ends on July 29th.
Leaders from Africa and the Caribbean have convened in Grenada for the 4th Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Summit, a gathering aimed at strengthening economic ties and fostering trade among global South nations. ABS's Alicia George has this report.
We talk not just about Africa and the Caribbean, we speak of global Africa. And global Africa means Africa and its diaspora everywhere it is.
For the 4th time since 2021, African and Caribbean leaders are meeting, this time in Grenada, for the Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Summit. It's part of an effort to deepen ties between South-South countries, which leaders anticipate will ease dependence on European nations and open new trade markets. Currently, trade among African and Caribbean countries is less than 1%. But the ultimate aim is to slash trade barriers, boost exports, and promote diversification.
We have to be deliberate about all these things. These are not the times you use your resources and say you are doing tender. If you want to promote trade, you prefer your people. Because we are talking about air links. It is when we ship crude from Guyana to Nigeria, Angola, and ship refined products back, that we can see movement of people. And we will not need to beg for airlines to fly. They will follow the money.
The meeting comes as global trade faces unprecedented instability, with Africa positioning itself as a financial partner through institutions like the Afri-Exim Bank's Trade Center in Barbados. CARICOM is being seen as a gateway to new markets.
In this uncertain world, deeper Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation is no longer an option. It is a requirement for us to be able to navigate the challenges that I set out at the onset.
But significant hurdles remain, from limited shipping and air links to high tariffs on processed goods and differing customs regulations. Leaders plan to reconvene for a summit in September to chart a clearer pathway toward making these trade ambitions a reality.
60 Barbadian students have embarked on a transformative learning journey through the inaugural Ocean Innovation Hub summer program, which aims to deepen youth engagement with ocean and climate issues through hands-on project-based learning. The initiative is part of a broader effort to position Barbados as a regional leader in ocean literacy, marine innovation, and climate education. CBC's Anesta Henry has this report.
Students from schools across the island are attending the first Oceana Innovation Hub summer program. Over the coming weeks, they will be attending the program at the spanking new hub, where they will be learning about the ocean and the climate through project-based learning. Minister of Educational Transformation, Chad Blackman, says the program will play an integral role in teaching students how they can be a part of global solutions.
It can't just be Europe, North America, Asia, Africa, Arab states that come up with global solutions to global problems, and we are simply takers of that, and we use them. This generation here must be, and in my view will be, the ones who will transform the rest of the world in different areas of technology, innovation, science, marrying it with culture, and building out an economy in a way that is not just sustainable, but will bring great pride and joy.
The young innovators, ages 8 to 18, will be engaging in what has been touted as an unforgettable summer adventure at the brand new hub. Chief Educational Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw says the program is the beginning of moving away from teaching students the facts and to simply preparing them to pass examinations.
There are several problems in Barbados to solve. There are several problems in the region to solve. There are several problems in the world to solve. And these 8 to 18-year-olds, they can solve them. Imagine these students coming up with applications that will determine the kind of degradation we're having in our coral reefs. Imagine them coming up with ways that we can use the sargassum seaweed.
The 60 students registered from both the senior and the junior cohorts will be engaging in an age-appropriate schedule, which will strike a balance between hands-on experiences and classroom-style learning,
including marine conservation, marine pollution, disaster management, law of the sea and advocacy as well, and water safety and confidence, because no one can fully appreciate the ocean without first feeling safe in it. And so our Learn to Swim program and water safety certification, which will be for the stronger swimmers, will empower students with the confidence that they need in open water, while also teaching respect for marine environments and the dangers and unsafe swimming conditions and how they can navigate our seas and feel safe.
The Oceana Innovation Hub was launched 5 weeks ago to make Barbados a leader in ocean literacy, marine innovation, and climate education.
In sports, we begin on the pitch with cricket. Australia completed a comprehensive 5-0 clean sweep against West Indies in their T20 International Series by winning the final match of their tour on Monday by 3 wickets. The T20 series defeat compounds a difficult time for West Indies, coming off the back of their 3-0 loss in the Test series against Australia. Some people serve cricket with a bat or ball in hand. Others, like Don Webby, serve it with quiet conviction, deep love, and the courage to help shape what the game must become. Those words from a statement published by Cricket West Indies in tribute to Jamaican statesman Don Webby, who died last Saturday. The statement continues, quote, "Don never walked onto a cricket field in maroon, but he carried West Indies cricket in his heart. He was the definition of a true fan, loyal in spirit, unwavering in belief, and committed not just to the glory of the past, but to the possibilities of the future." According to the CWI, quote, "Through his corporate leadership at Grace Kennedy and as chairman of CG Insurance, Don ensured that belief was backed by action." End quote. According to the CWI, Mr. Webby's support helped sustain the game during difficult times, and he remained a valued voice of conscience, always asking not what was easy, but what was right. Team Jamaica wrapped up its final training session on the weekend at the Constant Spring Golf Course as the national junior golfers prepared to tee off at the 37th Caribbean Amateur Junior Golf Championship, set to begin this week at the Grand Reserve Golf Club in Rio Grande, Puerto Rico. Led by national coach Jonathan Newham, the team enters the regional competition with a mix of seasoned players and promising newcomers. Among those confident heading into the championship is 13-year-old Alessandra Coe, competing in her final year in the girls 13 and under category. 18-year-old team captain Matia Issa spoke of the team's optimism, saying she looks forward to maintaining or improving on her performances over the years while mentoring younger teammates. Ryan Liu is the other co-captain.
Last year juniors, but I'm going back to school to play college golf. This is my second year, so I'm going into my sophomore year. So honestly, this tournament's just getting me ready for the season.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.